Welcome back. 17 News is your local election headquarters. From criminal investigations to resignations and the contentious presidential election cycle, Kern politics saw no break in news in 2024. Here's a look back at the defining moments.
While I'll be departing the House at the end of this year, I will never, ever give up fighting for this country that I love so much.
What kicked off the rather chaotic year of Kern County politics was none other than the biggest name still in Bakersfield politics, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. McCarthy's sudden resignation from the 20th Congressional District following his historic ouster as House Speaker confirmed a special election for not one but two seats in 2025, CD20 and the 32nd Assembly District.
Certainly, I found out that Congressman McCarthy wasn't filing for re-election, and when he came out with his Wall Street Journal op-ed.
That was already after Fong declared re-election to the state assembly for the 2024 election cycle. When Fong tried to run for Congress instead to succeed McCarthy, California's Secretary of State argued a candidate can run for only one office in any election, and Fong was already in for AD 32. This led to a months-long lawsuit that Fong won. His name remained on the ballot for both CD20 and AD 32, and because he won both, AD 32 is vacant, triggering a special election in 2025. The domino effect did not stop. There were 4 elections for McCarthy's freshly vacated CD20 position, a special election primary and general, and the regularly scheduled primary and general. Both the races for the partial and full terms ended up a face-off between the top 2 candidates, Republicans Vince Fong and Mike Boudreau, Sheriff of Tulare County, creating a rift in the local GOP.
I'm extremely proud to endorse Mike Boudreau as the next congressman.
I'm asking all of you to join me here today in endorsing and supporting Mike Boudreau for Congress.
Shannon Grove and Donnie Youngblood have historically been tied to the local Republican Party machine.
That machine and McCarthy and even Donald Trump all endorsed Fong for Congress, while Youngblood and Grove broke ties. And the playing field got even muddier, as it often does in politics, via negative attack advertisements.
Pathways to amnesty. Mike Boudreau can't be trusted.
A third-party PAC spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in anti-Boudreau and pro-Fong content.
This particular situation is propaganda, complete propaganda.
Tension evident during the CD20 debate hosted right here on TV 17.
Mr. McCarthy pulled a political favor so that he could have the endorsement of Mr. Trump.
Well, it's not a political favor. I mean, I'll put my endorsements locally against anybody's.
But with Kern making up a significant amount of the votes and being Fong's home turf, CD20 was a race Boudreau could not win. And so came about Congressman Vince Fong. Speaking of competitive races, we can't forget the deja vu of a David Valadao-Rudy Salas matchup for the 22nd Congressional District. Salas lost again, as he did in 2022, though by wider margins this time. CD22 is a purple district, meaning either party has a fair shot at victory. So it's largely about voter turnout. Did Salas's Latino Democratic base, which makes up a majority of CD22 voters, show up to the polls?
The challenge is ensuring that there is the kind of turnout that matches and reflects what the registration is in the district.
Generally speaking, this is a seat that would be very, very tough for Republicans. But what we have on our side is the phenomenal candidate that Congressman David Valadao is.
The two also participated in a debate hosted right here on TV 17.
2 candidates take the stage in the battle for the 22nd Congressional District.
Aside from major elections, Democrats and Republicans saw their fair share of electeds getting into trouble. Late April, former District 2 Supervisor Zach Scrivener was accused of sexually assaulting a preteen, as well as possessing psychedelics and 30 firearms.
I wouldn't be standing up here if we didn't believe that something occurred.
17 News attempted to talk with the former supervisor late August as he made his way to class at CSUB. This was his first public appearance since the allegations, but he declined to comment.
Hi, Mr. Scrivener. Jenny with Channel 17 here. How are you, sir? I just have a very few quick questions for you. Where have you been, Supervisor?
under the advice of counsel. Presumed to the advice of counsel, I'm not going to comment.
May I ask if the allegations of child sexual assault are true?
I'm not going to comment.
Okay. Are you receiving special treatment, Mr. Scrivener?
Scrivener resigned early August, and the race to replace him for a partial term until 2026 was added to the November ballot. Former Bakersfield Council member Chris Parlier won that race. In July, former Wasco Mayor Alex Garcia was accused of questionable conduct involving a minor, according to a social media video posted by a shadowy group. Local Democrats, Garcia's own party, called on him to resign, and resign he did. Bakersfield police eventually closed that investigation after unsuccessful attempts to contact those who filmed the video. Democratic District 5 Supervisor Leticia Perez won her election bid and has another 4 years on the board, but she sure broke a sweat. Perez beat challenger Kim Salas by 133 votes, and the contentious race was frequently separated by just dozens of votes.
I have investigated this in my office for 2 weeks before the election.
And Perez and her chief of staff and Kern Democratic Party Chair Christian Romo were under investigation by the Kern District Attorney's Office following accusations they used county resources for political purposes. Perez announced multiple times investigators attempted to enter her county office.
They did not have permission, they did not provide notice to us, and they did not have a warrant.
Days later, Romo accused Salas of the same wrongdoing, saying Salas, as district director for Assemblywoman Dr. Jasmine Baines, used state resources for political purposes. The DA's office dismissed those allegations. The office declined to specify where the Perez-Romo investigation stands now. As for the Bakersfield City Council, Ward 2 Councilman Andre Gonzalez was re-elected to his third term. Larry Coleman will take over for Bruce Freeman in Ward 5. Zach Bashertosh will take over for Patty Gray in Ward 6. Manpreet Kaur is the new vice mayor. In neighboring Arvin, a city council seat will be left vacant for 2 years due to political drama. Councilmember Juan Murillo submitted a resignation letter, which he later attempted to rescind, but it was too late. Greenfield Union School District will likely host a special election pending a court order. The county admitted it allowed over 100 people to vote in the wrong area of the school district. Thank you all for tuning in to TV 17 and trusting us with your political and election news this past year. Remember, 17 News is your local election headquarters.